This is Wildcat Stadium in Eagan, Minnesota for tonight's doubleheader at soccer, varsity soccer today. My name is Skip Newton alongside Nathan Cron. Happy to be back here at Wildcat Stadium. Tonight's opponent is the visiting Bears of White Bear Lake. Of course, we're kicking it off with the boys game first. Eagan comes in with one tally in each column of the standings, a win, a loss, and a draw. That draw coming courtesy of yesterday's game at Bloomington Jefferson. 1-1 was the final score. Nathan, as we get ready for tonight's match, what does Eagan need to do better in order to get that second win of the season?
Well, Skip, the Wildcats for the first three games of the season have demonstrated two things. Number one, they've demonstrated that they have a fairly stout defense. They've managed to have a 1-1-1 record by conceding only 2 goals in 3 games. That's a very good defensive record. If you told me I was going to concede less than 1 goal a game on average as a coach, I'd be very, very happy. The challenge is they've only scored 2 goals in those 3 games. And so I think the challenge, Skip, from my perspective, is how do you generate more offense without necessarily sacrificing your defensive efficiency?
Yeah, absolutely. The 2 goals against is fantastic. 2 goals scored needs to improve. Eagan wearing their customary home blue uniforms here, going left to right across your screen. The Bears wearing their road whites. Got a few new players here for the Wildcats. They've got 3 guys that are catching a little bit of that injury bug. Not playing tonight, number 9, Jace Willie, number 10, Miklo Jones, and number 14, Asher Brunette. Unfortunately, 3 players already down. So called up from the junior varsity squad, number 19, Jacob Gibson, a senior, and number 20, Zayon Oliath, a sophomore. Gibson coming up for his first game at the varsity level and immediately inserted into the starting rotation back on the defensive line.
Interesting selection by Coach Botu Lee, but certainly not unprecedented. Is so far the engine who has driven us, Blake Prouty, that is the Wildcats. It's over the top for him, but as I was saying, Coach Botu Lee has been kind of somewhat interesting. He's definitely gone against the grain in terms of what you might expect from a conventional wisdom standpoint sometimes with some of these lineup changes. And so I guess at some point we should stop being surprised.
Yeah, exactly. Gibson, number 19, inserted into the starting lineup at the right defensive position, so the position closest to us here on the near side. Alex Newton and Peyton Jensen playing center back, and senior defense Tariq Salim on the left side, the far side there. White Bear with possession there, Salim with that, taking it away. Up at forward, you've got number 21, who's defending now, Blake Prouty. On the other side, number 11, Davis Hackenmuller. In the middle, as usual, number 13, Mike Johnson. The guy responsible for both goals this season, number 16, Eddie Katora. And then up from defense, number 8, Jake Sondag. So played all of last season at defense, played the first game this season at defense, and since then has been moved up to midfield, and he's stuck there ever since. And it's really been a natural transition. Here's a cross, and there's Gibson's first touch on the ball. The other midfielder, number 2, there on the ball now, Zion Tapa. Ball played out to Hackenmuller. It's headed from behind, but Katora's there to bring that one down, but it's taken away by Simonik of White Bear Lake. Katora gets it back, looking for Prouty on the far side. That pass is intercepted.
Yeah, Simonik, one of the captains here for the White Bear Lake Bears, and they are, turnover here from Prouty.
See if he can take advantage. He's got Hackenmuller on one side, good shield of the ball, but now comes over close on the near side of the box. Good speed move and a great cross by Hackenmuller. Unfortunately, too far for his teammates. Katora's going to track it down. He gets tripped on the far side. That'll be an easy call.
Yeah, good call, but not a bad foul for the defender there, only because, yes, it's true, there's going to be a free kick there, but at the same time, he was beaten. Katora was by him and going to create something up that end line, and so not a bad place to commit a foul if you're going to commit a foul, and certainly not in the penalty area.
So basically a corner kick, but from a better angle. Peyton Jensen moving up from center D, getting his tall, aggressive frame into the middle there and see if he can make a play on this. This one's headed up by the defense. Johnson does get ahead. Knocked over by Katora, no shot. Here's a volley by Tapa. Unfortunately, straight to the goalkeeper, Christensen, number 0, senior goalkeeper for the Bears. A big punt. Newton tracking this one down. He's getting pressured. He plays it out to Gibson. Also goes by Gibby, so if I use that term, it's because I'm familiar with him over all the years here. Gruey has it for the Bears. Down the 19. Jensen defending. Keeping him to the outside. Nicely done. Tapa with a nice slide to get that one further out. It goes into touch. Gruey will throw this one back in for the Bears.
Bears also missing some players that they would expect to be part of their either starting lineup or certainly their rotation. Missing Peschman, Wolkerstorfer, and Karius. And so we'll see how that impacts what the Bears do. The Bears, this is only their second game of the season. First game of the season was a 4-0 loss to Maple Grove. And so the Bears, with 13 returners on this team, expect to be very competitive in their conference and in their section.
Nice pass there as they trying to get it to the middle. Gibson's there to clear. Hackenmuller can't track it down against 2 defenders. He gets hit aggressively. Looks like he's got a little bit of a leg thing to work out. Jensen also getting taken out in the box when he clears that. No call, and this will be a corner kick for the Bears on the near side.
Yeah, safety first for Peyton Jensen there. Very smart to get it out, even if you concede the corner. You definitely don't want to have a, definitely don't want to give the attacker the shot there. Tapa's trying to sneak inside 10 yards.
On the kick, Benjamin Watson, number 10.
Kick is a long one over the head of a leaping Bears forward. Couldn't quite get on top of that. Ends up just flicking it to the far side. Salim's there to restart that with a throw. This one's flicked up by Sondagen out. Had a delay in the start of the game here due to some traffic issues with the bus from White Bear Lake, but all is well with the late start. Of course, I mentioned earlier, this is game 1 of the soccer doubleheader. Game 2 will be following the girls squads from both of these schools.
And we should mention, as a small production note, that that will be on a separate YouTube feed or link, so you'll have to kind of re-log in for that. Restart that link, I should say.
Prouty has this one, goes across, but kicks it right to Christensen. I don't think that one ended up where he wanted. Flicked on here by Smith. Salim has a couple of defenders and attackers to deal with. Here's Newton over. He can't quite take the ball away, but now he recovers. Settles down into a pressure and delay mode. Plays that one off of White Bear Lake. Nice defensive play.
Watson with a very curious pose there with his arms out, almost like saying, what did I do, or how did that happen? And mirroring Davis Hackenmuller early in the game when Davis Hackenmuller had the very same pose. And we're going to have a foul here on the Wildcats, a knock to the back of the head of, I think that's Semenek.
Call on the Wildcats. Free kick upcoming for
No, check it, it's Watson.
So this is about 30 yards plus given the angle. Certainly within range for a lot of these guys as far as a shot goes, but we'll see if the strategy is to try to tee one up for a teammate inside the box. As usual, senior co-captain Evan Woodley back at goalkeeper. He's played all but one half this season thus far. It's on the ground. That one's played out by Salim. Nicely done. Katora with it, gets by one defender and passes up. Unfortunately, not on the same page there as Prouty.
Prouty thought that he had already made the turn or had already taken possession of the ball, and Prouty was off to make a run, but that time, just like you said, Skip, just unfortunate timing there for the Wildcats.
Back to Christensen. Gives it a boot. Big leg by Christensen.
And we'll have to see if that becomes telling sometime later in the game when either there's a free kick taken or some sort of offense that's generated off of a punt.
There's a slight breeze, but I wouldn't call any sort of a wind here that's going to have any factor on the game. It's just a gorgeous day for soccer, right in the upper 70s, not a lot of humidity. We need to appreciate those days because we know that fall soccer, it can turn in a hurry.
Yeah,
Hackenmüller's going to play that one back to Woodley.
Well, by the time sections get here, Skip Newton, you and I will be wishing we had heaters in this broadcast booth, not just air conditioners.
Bears throw on the far touch. Volley to the middle. Tapa has it, trying to get it to Prouty. Again with the head. Unsuccessful. Sondag can't quite control that one. Now we got a ball down the far touch. Newton over to cut off the attacker. He gets a little two-hand pat on the back for his trouble.
Given the propensity of the Wildcats to not score too many goals yet, again, early season, small sample size, but you have to think that the first goal in this match, huge, Skip, for both of these teams.
Yeah, it's such a big motivator. It's such a big way to get some momentum for your squad. And similar to yesterday's game in Bloomington, the Wildcats, here's a header that's flicked on. Woodley tracks it down and picks it up, keeps it in play. Nicely done. But similar to yesterday's game, the starters early in the game struggling to really put anything together. It was actually a few of the players off the bench, maybe 25, 30 minutes into the contest yesterday, that started to generate some good pressure and connected some passes and set some things up offensively. The momentum that they were able to gain, even though they weren't able to put one in the net, carried over to the second half, and for the majority of the game, Eagan was putting on quite a bit of pressure. They scored the game-tying goal to finish with the draw. But yeah, that kind of thing was nice to see, but you'd like to see Eagan get out to a little bit faster of a start. Some fancy moves here by number 3, Gio Pesco-Solido.
And talking to the coaching staff prior to the game, Gio was picked out and singled out as one of the guys who's going to stir the drink offensively here for the Bears. I mean, he's a creator, and we saw some of those nice foot skills there. It's not hard to imagine why he might be tabbed as somebody you might want to keep an eye on.
Race for the ball there is won by neither squad, but played into touch by the Bears. So Eagan gets possession with the throw. Hackenmüller coming back, trying to win that. Midfielders and forwards unable to connect. Here's a push. Hackenmüller knocked off the ball, no call. Like to see Eagan get some possession here. See if they can't connect a few passes and get some players down, out of the middle third and into the attacking third. Put some pressure on the goalkeeper Christensen. Salim turns, blocks that would-be cross. Going to be escorted over the goal line. This will be a corner kick, the second of the game for the Bears.
Corner kick for the Bears, their second. It will be from the far
Somehow
side.
the Wildcats have got to transition out of that middle third, like you were saying, Skip. You see Hackenmüller and Prouty. I wouldn't say they're on an island by themselves, but they're certainly not getting enough attention yet from the midfield.
Feels like the distance between the midfielders and Prouty and Hackenmüller is too large to complete passes successfully. I think they need to figure that out and connect a little bit better.
Well, if you had to describe the Wildcat formation to be described as a 4-4-2, the 4 in the middle is something of a diamond, maybe it's 4-3-1-2, depending on where they're moving around. But I think what you have to do is get Couturier up closer to Prouty and Hackenmüller and let him try to tee them off or send them off.
Sondag with a nice steal, comes over to Tapa. He's going to play it up, looking for Prouty. Oh, he does a nice job of keeping that in. Crosses Sondag. Centering. Cleared by the Bears. Flicked on. Newton will control, looks for a teammate. Ends up getting it back. Can't complete that one to Tapa. Now it's the Bears. They're going to bring it down the near side. Hackenmüller hustling back defensively. Nicely done. Forcing the Bears to get rid of that one sooner. And this one easily into Woodley.
Yeah, there is a tendency to play a bit of kick and chase here in high school soccer. That's just that's right, wrong, or indifferent. It's the nature of the beast. And of course, with the boys, tend to be even more physical than the girls. They just tend to throw their bodies around. It seems like a little bit more. Maybe it's just that there's a little more mass involved with those collisions. But you know, you'd like to see, you know, Katoro get a little bit closer, I think, to the forwards, or whoever's playing in that position, get a little closer so that he can distribute to the forwards.
Hackenmuller finished his check and got called for it, so we'll have a free kick for the Bears. Got a couple of substitutions for the Wildcats ready to come in at the next opportunity. Looks to be number 4, Evan Galechin, and number 3, I believe that is Eric Knoll, both midfielders. So if you can, at this time, Nathan, put on your Bert Blyleven hat and not circle any fans in the stands, but instead give me a prediction. Who will be the first Wildcat to score not named Eddie Katoro?
If I was going to make a prediction, this is an excellent game, Skip Newton, and I'm so glad you asked me to play it. If I was going to pick a guy who's going to score, I would pick number 11, Davis Hackenmuller, because I think Davis has just such an awesome right foot. If he gets the opportunity to step into the ball, he can really, really hit a banger. I would say Davis.
I like it. I like the prediction. I'm going to go with Prouty, but I'll be happy with being wrong and having you be correct on this one. I should correct myself. It's Eddie Katora, my bad. So I will get that right in the future. Davis trying to win that one, a difficult ball to possess with pressure. Fortunately for the Wildcats, Gruey can't control that. Quick restart by Davis off of Knoll. Watson has it. Nice pass up for Peterson. It's a race. As is usually the case, Jensen wins it and just plays it into safety. This ball's centered across. Salim does a nice job of cutting that one off. That was trouble if he wasn't there. Jensen's going to play that one up out of the box. Headed forward by Tapa. Nice play. So Katora exited the game with those last substitutions, as well as Sondag also came out. We have an offside call here. A little shot after the whistle.
I think if I was the referee, I might have a quick word with him, just say, hey, be careful of that. Don't want to. I don't think there's anything in that, but you don't want to risk it. Close offside call on the far side. Honestly, from my perspective, our perspective, it looked like he might have held his run. So Wildcats defensively, again, very solid, and at least so far disciplined.
And that can be a little trickier when you've got somebody new on the back line. Jacob Gibson, as we mentioned earlier, senior, coming up and playing and starting from right defense. So maybe not quite as familiar as playing with the other defensive teammates, and that offside trap that defenses will run, you have to all be in sync or it doesn't work. Salim back to Galunchin, back to Salim. Knoll. Salim. Gets pressured, loses it. Johnson wins it back. Nice tackle. He's got options. Hackenmuller trying to split two defenders. Slight trip from behind, no call. Played out nice. Restart quickly by Gibson. See if Tapa can make something happen over there. He's going to hold up and let Gibby take this throw from defense so he can make himself available for a pass. Oh, and here we're going to have another one out, and that is a corner.
Good opportunity here for the Wildcats. They're leading right now. Well, they are leading in shots. Well, I take that back. Now the scoreboard's given both sides 2 shots on goal, but there have not been a lot of opportunities here for the Wildcats.
Hackenmuller will take this one as usual. Puts this one out near the 18, over the head of everybody. Salim trying to get something going. He's unable to. Bears bring it out in the middle of the field. They trip over the ball. Galunchin has it. Can't quite get rid of that fast enough. He wanted to find Knoll to his right. Good defense there by Simonek. Here's one up the middle. Jensen again racing. He's got a guy right on his backside. He escorts the ball to the hands of Woodley. Nice job coming off his line. Good defense there, putting himself between the ball and the attacker.
And nice job by Caleb Anderson for the Bears also. I mean, making sure he doesn't commit the foul. Gives himself every opportunity to make a play if somehow Woodley fumbles the ball, mishandles it, or if there's a miscommunication between Jensen and Woodley, but if you go in like a bull in a china shop, you miss that opportunity.
Some nice passing here for the Wildcats. Good to see 4-5 in a row. Tapa runs into a brick wall, also known as Ian Cran. That one's played deep, and I think the Bears knew they were potentially in an offside position, so didn't even attempt for that one. Was Anderson.
Cran, singled out by the White Bear coaching staff, as really being one of their studs on defense. That's the kind of play you would expect. I mean, Tapa's going to have to find a slightly different way around Cran and some of those defenders. Mass can't go through other mass.
Nifty little move there by Tapa, gaining confidence as he gains experience here at varsity. Unfortunately, can't quite keep it in. We'll have another substitution for the Wildcats.
And
looks like
we're going to have a water break.
Referee stops the clock.
An interesting feature of the early season here, Skip, is that we've seen water breaks when, to be honest, it's not that hot.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised.
But it was announced just before the game that there would be water breaks. Although, selfishly, I think as a coach, it gives me an opportunity to talk to my players without pulling them off the field. I don't have to risk the other team taking advantage of me taking a player off the field to talk to them. It's actually probably not bad for either coach early in the season to have a chance to talk to the players for an extra minute.
This is true. Of course, if they do it again in the second half, which I'm assuming they will halfway through the second half, that could become a factor. You're wasting time. Oh no, they are stopping the clock. Okay, the last time we were at a game, they did not stop the clock. It was running time. So
absolutely.
The future stars of Eagan Wildcats soccer.
So we will take advantage of this stoppage to make a special announcement. We'd like to extend a warm welcome to our youth soccer players and coaches who are in the stadium tonight. We're excited to have them here as young players so they can see how their hard work and dedication could lead them to them playing high school soccer. These players and coaches will be recognized at halftime in the Eagan Stadium. We appreciate them joining us and cheering on the Wildcats varsity soccer teams. Teams retaking the field here after the mandatory water break. Just in the 21st minute of a scoreless game. I would say neither team really having any excellent scoring chances to note. Nothing dangerous. Neither keeper has been challenged yet.
Back in the game for the Wildcats, Blake Prouty, number 21.
Blake Prouty coming back in, number 21, but looks like he's not playing forward at this time. He's coming into a midfielder position. Also into the game, I believe we have our other newcomer, number 20, Zayan Oliath. He looks like he is playing one of the two forward positions, standing at midfield right now. Again, number 20, he's a sophomore. Prouty rethrows that for the Wildcats. Gibson back, looking for Prouty. Tried to flick that straight on to Knoll. He makes it happen. Knoll double teamed, almost gets out of it. Nice step up by Gibson. And a little bit of miscommunication there.
A bit unlucky for the Cats there. That was a nice play by Knoll, no question about that.
Nice step up by Prouty. Here's Oliath. He turns, finds the heel of Knoll, quickly recovers over to Johnson. He's going to fire a shot from 30, right on to Christensen. I do like taking that shot when you're wide open from the middle of the field, even though you're far out.
Absolutely, he can step into it. He's hitting it clean. He's in the middle of the field, so he's got the whole net to shoot at. I think that's a brilliant shot. Expect Johnson, if Johnson gets a shot like that, 4 or 5 more times, I expect him to put one in the net.
Newton up to Glension. Over to Knoll. They've got numbers if they can make something happen here. Oh, he had Davis go in the corner, chose to pull it back. Prouty. Johnson, slide tackle, deflecting over to Salim up from defense. He gets taken down, and we're going to have a free kick from a good distance away, 35 plus.
Salim's got to have a little faith there in the referees. That Salim went down, kind of came up with the old, hey, what's going on? It's the referees. Remember, the referees are going to play advantage when they have an opportunity. So Salim's, he's not going to get an insta whistle, right?
Well, and there is the human response time that it's not instantaneous. It's not a computer. It does take a while for the ref to process it and make the call. Davis plays this one in, not shooting, but a little too far, unfortunately.
Well, and especially if the Wildcat players, or all the players, understand that the referee is going to play advantage when he can, you're going to get knocked down. You're going to get flattened. And there will be times when the referee will not blow the whistle right away because he wants to see the advantage in this case. And it's just, again, it's not that, it's not that he's, that Salim is acting improperly. It's just that, just an understanding that the referee is going to do that stands you in good stead, right?
Noel thought he saved that one on the far touch. The AR on the far side disagrees. Newton's going to track this one down. He's going to have options. Chooses to go back to Woodley. He's going to get that one right back. Plays that one up to Salim after the deflection. Glenchen, Salim.
Nice passing combinations.
Noel, he's got Prouty. Pulls it back.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Noel was doing there. I think Prouty was open, and he goes right back to the clogged side of the field.
Prouty again senses the pressure and pulls it back. Didn't realize, I think, that he was open. He had relieved himself of the pressure. Could have taken a little more time on that one.
Yeah, I would have liked Noel actually to continue to the side of the field where there's less pressure, there are less players. I think, we talk about why players or why teams want to switch the field, go from one side of the field to the other. It's usually because there are more defenders and more congestion on one side of the field versus the other. And Noel that time stops, turns, has a chance to go to the right, but he goes to the left to see if that's something that he improves on as the game goes on.
Jensen plays this one into touch. The AR over here is trying to get the attention of the center ref. Something's not right. I don't know if it was an illegal throw-in. Apparently it's nothing of note because the game is continuing. Prouty has that one deflect into touch, so it will be a Wildcat throw. AR's a little confused down here.
May have been clock. And clock's going. He's motioning in his watch, but we'll have to see.
Hackenmuller looking to throw this one in. Glenchen over his head. Newton up. Nice touch to Johnson. He's got Noel. Noel in the middle. Can they find a shot? Johnson. Oh, there was a potential chance for your guy, Hackenmuller. Here's a shot. It's just high and wide. Glenchen put on a nice shot to the upper corner. I thought you might have had Hackenmuller with a volley there at the 18.
No, that was a nice sequence by the Wildcats. The Wildcat fans will take that all day long, but good opportunity there for the Wildcats as Noel that time, when you say he needs to do something better, here's something he did really well. It was a great little pass, a great little flick on to a player ahead of him to help create that scoring opportunity.
As Woodley picks this one up, we'll note another substitution for the Wildcats into the game at right defense. Tyler Walcott's a senior, replacing another senior, Jacob Gibson. So nice job by Gibson in his first game. Similar styles of play, I would say, for both Walcotts and Gibson. Both good at controlling the ball. They're able to support the attack, get it up to their midfielders ahead of them and in the middle. So definitely the kind of player that Coach Bouteli wants and prefers on the outside defense whenever possible. Looks like we have a foul called here. I didn't see it. Quick restart. Newton heads that one.
Well, the Bears have some what I would describe as very physical forwards.
Oh, there's a nice pass to Hackenmuller. He's going to get that right foot shot. No, can't quite. Tries to pull it back to the left. Player goes down. I guess that was a foul on Hackenmuller. I couldn't tell from my angle, but he's not questioning it, so we're gonna give the ref the benefit of the doubt on that one. The guy did go down pretty quickly.
He did. I think Davis spun him around a bit from behind, and as the ball kind of got away from him, but I think it's interesting that the Bears, as I've finished my point, the Bears have some very, what I describe as big physical forwards. And that's a real test for these outside backs of the Wildcats, Salim and Wildcats and Gibson, because they're not the biggest guys, all right? And they're not, but they have to be quick and they have to be smart. And so far they're doing that.
Hackenmuller and Prouty, possible two-man game over here. They do have Knoll in the middle. They switch, nicely done. Hackenmuller centers, but Oliath couldn't get position. Johnson using his body to shield that one off. Well played. Quick recovery there by the Bears. Now Galunchin comes out of that mess with the ball. He brings it back. He's got Oliath turning, tries to feed him into the box. That one's going to be deflected away. Nice defense, Bears. Salim pressuring up. Nicely done. Wins possession temporarily. Galunchin shielding that one into touch. Well done. Salim will throw this one back in.
Crafty move by Evan Galunchin. Very nice.
Here's Johnson. He's shot from here before. Got Galunchin on the outside. Plays that one into Knoll. Back to Galunchin. Back into the 18. Couldn't quite connect. Oliath. Salim. Galunchin. Nice tap over to Johnson. See if he can get something into the middle here. Ball played into touch, and we're down to almost the last 11 minutes of the first half. Still scoreless, but as was the case yesterday, once the game kind of gets into it, we get halfway through. Really, ever since the water break, it feels like the Eagan team has really started to connect some passes.
Absolutely. Interesting bringing Jensen all the way up for that throw, but then he didn't really have what you would. It was an odd throw for Peyton Jensen. He was going for a teammate, but didn't bomb it in quite as deep as he normally does.
Wildcats plays that one over for Prouty, who saves it. Nice hustle by Knoll. He's having a game.
Good recovery.
Wildcats over to Knoll. Nice job to relieve himself of the pressure there. Jensen's going to let this one come all the way back. He's got plenty of time. Gives it to Woodley. Woodley's like, don't give it to me. You take this. Up for Hackenmuller. He's going to flick this one looking for Oliath. Knoll, there he is again. Nice step up by Wildcats. Hackenmuller on his horse. Oh, almost gets that through. Gruey there defending well. A couple of substitutions coming into the game for both teams. We got Jake Sondag, number 8, going to replace Blake Prouty, number 21. This time we'd like to thank our platinum sponsors of Eagan Soccer, Melanie and John Willie, the Dinah Realty, the Eagan Football Booster Club, Eagan Hockey Association, I Got Skills, that's the name of the sponsor, by the way, I'm not complimenting myself, Jordan Drilling, State Farm Agency, Nick DeVries, Triple Diamond Sports Breaks, The Urgency Room, and the Wave Soccer Club. Big throw by Jensen there to Johnson in the middle. This one's centered in, but too wide and too far by Salim. He knew it. As soon as he hit it, he put his hands up like, that's not where I wanted that one to go.
Yeah, the body language was a bit obvious there, wasn't it?
Another big boot by Christensen. It's going to get past everyone. Of course, Jensen's there. Newton, Johnson. Newton again.
Well, it certainly has the look of a low-scoring game, doesn't it, Skip Newton? I mean, I can't imagine, I can't imagine the floodgates opening and all of a sudden a giant scoring binge from either of these teams.
Yeah, just another day ending in Y for Eagan boys soccer. Of course, not the case for the second game we're going to do tonight. The girls, we'll talk about them, of course, later in our second broadcast. Here comes Sondag fresh off the bench. He's going to play it up for Hackenmuller. Not going to be able to get to that one. Just too close to the line and into touch. Sondag, good job defending from behind. Of course, as a former defender, he's very skilled at that. That head is flicked by Newton. Woodley has it, and he'll reset.
I wonder if Davis Hackenmuller at some point, Coach Butuli might move him into a center midfield role in that attacking midfield at the top of that diamond, maybe to get him more involved and let him be on the ball a little more. And I think we're going to have a foul here. Yep, foul on Vang, number 13. So the Wildcats will have a free kick from a nice spot if they can drop this in. But I wonder if Hackenmuller might be, given the situation, maybe he slides to that center attacking midfield position so that he can be on the ball a little bit more and maybe more central in the build-up.
On the free kick for the Wildcats will be Mike Johnson.
Yeah, you got to like the idea of getting him in the center of the field and giving him a better shooting angle. Let's see what Johnson tries to do. He's about 39 yards out, dead center. He's going to chip that one in just past the 18. It's headed by the Bears out of the box. Now cleared for good. Flicked on. Newton steps in front of that one. Nicely done. Oh, that one got away from Smith. Here's Knoll. Sondag. Nice pass to Johnson. Now is an opportune time to switch the fields. He does just that. Salim surveys his options. It's Oliath on the far touch. Back to Johnson. Didn't know there was a guy behind.
Yeah, if he knows he's coming, then he can step to it, right? You saw Johnson there, and we've seen that a couple times from Johnson. He'll wait for that pass rather than coming a step or two into the pass. And I think that he risks turning the ball over.
Ooh, here's a long shot by Salim and dropped momentarily by Christensen. Salim with a power left foot over there. Wouldn't mind seeing that one again. Headed up to Knoll.
Well, as challenging as his last shot on attempt was, that one was equally good. Christensen really had to have strong hands there to keep that one in.
Here's a cross by Hackenmuller, and just too far. He's got such a strong leg. Galunchin's there to mop that one up. Here's Johns with a chance to maybe put one on, but he's quickly defended. Sondag needs support, but back to Johnson. Fortunately, plays that one up in the air and out. Newton plays that to Jensen. Nice touch out to Salim. Little three-man defensive game here to control the ball. Newton up to Johnson.
Sorry, Skip.
Ooh, nice ball down to Hackenmuller. I like this. Let's see if he goes too far again or if he can able to beat his defender for a shot. Comes inside, left foot, near post. A tricky little shot on the turf. A diving save by Christensen. That one was close.
Yeah, I like that. Hackenmuller had already set up his defender. He had gone to the outside or to the end line a couple of times already in the game, and to be able to cut back to the middle, left foot obviously not his strongest foot, but still steered that on goal.
Yeah, and the key there is what he's been doing throughout the first 24 minutes of the contest. Consistently playing the ball to his right, using his speed so he can cross the ball with that right foot. Here he sets up the defender, probably assuming he's going to make the same move. He does not. Gets it into left and gets his shot off. Hackenmuller is finally going to get a breather. We've got number 7, Hannon Axelrod, coming into the game. Axelrod, just a sophomore, but his second year on varsity. One of the few freshmen, if not the only freshman last year, I should say. In the 35th minute, Woodley has this with no pressure. Let his teammates move up the field before he gives it the big boot. Knowles there with not one, not two, now 3 Bears. Newton up to Johnson. Johnson with space. Knoll. Speed to the outside. Galunchin, give and go. More speed from Knoll. Oh, nice little shift move. He's got a time to get this one left. It goes a little too far. Oliath's there. He's got a left foot shot, and right on Christensen. A great opportunity there. Oliath in his first game has an opportune time to put one home, and he cannot quite finish. A good strike, unfortunately, right at the goalkeeper here. He is again. Oh, a nice fake outside. He's got Sondag. Sondag's touch just betrays him.
Well, I was, watching Oliath. He looked a bit tentative. Maybe wasn't quite sure where he wanted to be. Maybe didn't quite have his positioning down on a couple of the crosses. One in particular by Hackenmuller that was just, Oliath just was kind of rooted to the spot. But that time did a nice job of presenting himself to be in a position to play the ball, and it was a nice left foot. It was solid contact.
The second time we've seen a shot not caught cleanly by Christensen, the goalkeeper, something to keep in mind for the future. There may be a rebound opportunity for the Wildcats. Wildcats will play this one back in with a throw. Finds Knoll, who's going to go back to number 24 into the game, John Tesdall, sophomore defender, giving Peyton Jensen a rare break. Here's a miss on the other side. Newton steps up. He gets beat. Coming across is the best opportunity for the Bears. Played out nicely by Tesdall on that cross. Into touch near the bench. Wildcats will throw this one back in. So a little bit of a breakdown on the far side defensively. Not one but two defenders beaten. Fortunately, Tesdall was there for that cross.
Yeah, I suspect in the last couple of minutes here, the Wildcat coaching staff and indeed the Bear coaching staff at the same time are going to say, hey, let's get into halftime at 0-0, right? Let's come back in, get 0-0, and just get reset. Don't try to be a hero. Don't make it. Here's an opportunity potentially. Yeah, maybe not. But, let's get back and reset. Let's not do anything that's going to give us trouble. Let's not shoot ourselves in the foot here.
Tesdall's going to play that back for Woodley. He'll be pressured, so he's going to get it right back to Tesdall. He's got space. He's also got Wildcats. He's going to turn with the ball. He's got pressure from behind. Plays that one up. Knoll has it. Oh, a nice pass through to Sondag. He's off to the races. Good touch into the box. Bad angle. Will he shoot? I think he wanted to cross, but he didn't quite hit that right. Trying to get it over to Axelrod, but ended up just tapping it to Christensen.
That was a bit of a shot and a cross, and it didn't quite turn out for him, did it?
Bears have it. Sondag and Wildcats teaming up, trying to stop that. They can't quite do it. Johnson just stood there and watched the attacker, Glauvitz, fly right by. Woodley off of Knoll. Axelrod's there. He's got speed. Trying to get it to Oliath. Christensen off his line.
And Oliath, ever since that shot, he's been a lot more active, Skip. He's been much more noticeable, and that's a good trend for the Wildcats.
Yeah, the amount of time it took, I would say, both the new players, Gibson and Oliath, to adjust to varsity soccer was not long at all. So once again, Coach Butuli proven right in his decisions, inserting a couple of players that are definitely making themselves look the part here on varsity. This will end the half. As you stated earlier, both teams tied at 0. A good half overall, well played, a clean game, a well called game. Most players getting into the game. I would say, not sure there's much of an advantage to either side. What do you think?
No, it's a very even match right now. Not a lot of advantage to either side. I do think the Wildcats. Obviously we're the Eagan TV crew. We see the Wildcats for every home game, and that's that's kind of why we're here. But I think the Wildcats have an opportunity. They somehow have got to get a little more continuity between their midfield and the attack and their forwards. I think if they can get more link-up play or more together play there, rather than it seems like the ball is really between their defenders and mids a lot. If they can somehow switch that so it's between the mids and the forwards more, they're going to have more opportunities. And for White Bear Lake, I would keep doing what I'm doing, but I would get those big, strong forwards making more diagonal runs and giving myself more of an opportunity to test that back line.
Yeah, I would play to the corners for sure. All right, we are going to take a break for halftime. Once again, the White Bear Lake Bears and the Eagan Wildcats are tied 0-0. We'll be back for the second half momentarily. For Nathan Cron, I am Skip Newton. This is Wildcat Soccer on Eagan TV.
that highlights the good happening in our Eagan community. Stories of people reaching out, giving back, or shining a light on the people who make Eagan great. If you or someone you know has a story to share, we want to hear about it and feature it in Positively Eagan. Visit cityofeagan.com/positively-Eagan to submit your story and watch previous episodes.
The drone technology that we've been using here at the Eagan Police Department has evolved dramatically since we began our program. We recognize that this piece of technology has a significant public safety benefit if we were to employ it across the police department.
Drones are a smarter and safer approach to calls because it allows officers to be able to slow calls down.
We aren't rushing in to see what's going on. We're kind of taking our time or watching from a distance sometimes, and drones gives us the ability to do that.
It's a complicated process to become a drone pilot because not only do our officers have to learn how to fly the drones and gain competency in all of the areas surrounding their use, but they also have to receive a license from the FAA as a commercial drone pilot.
You kind of have to hit the books and be familiar with drones, airspace, in addition to kind of like the flight restrictions and like the weather and cloud patterns.
There's a lot of type of calls that benefit from having a drone available. It's primarily incidents where we're searching for somebody.
You have kind of the vulnerable adults or kids. You have individuals that flee on foot. It allows us to kind of cover a lot of ground.
We have the capability of putting a drone up in the air within minutes of that 911 call and start searching. Anytime we have a situation like that, every minute counts.
We've done a lot of outreach with different community groups. We've gone and talked with Rotary. We've gone and done demonstrations for kids. They see how valuable the drones actually are out in the field. Outreach is really important for the drones because it helps people understand why we're using them and how effective they are, and it helps show that these really are good tools for de-escalating situations and should be invested in the future.
Welcome back to Wildcat Stadium at Eagan High School in Eagan, Minnesota. My name is Skip Newton alongside Nathan Cron. We are in the middle of a scoreless contest here with the White Bear Lake Bears, who are wearing white. They will be going left to right on your viewing screen, which however you are viewing it. Of course, Eagan wearing the customary blue right to left. Nathan, scoring goals has been a bit of a problem for the Wildcats, only 2 thus far, 3.5 games in. What do they need to do to get a tally up on the scoreboard?
Well, they're playing a team in the White Bear Lake Bears that have got the same problem. They've played now 3 halves of soccer, and they have not been able to put one in the net either. And so, honestly, I think it is right what we talked about previously, and I thought we might have an offside call there, but no. I think it's what we talked about at the beginning of the game. The Wildcats have got to find a way to create more opportunities without sacrificing what so far has been a fairly efficient defensive scheme. And speaking of scheme, let's see, is that Davis Hackenmuller, is he playing a midfield position, or is he sliding it back up to forward?
Sondag trying to exploit some space there, passes it back to Johnson. This is up to Hackenmuller. He's got someone out to the right. He's going to take a left foot shot from distance. Diving block by Christensen. He secures the rebound. A little bit different lineup than what we're used to here. Of course, Prouty and Hackenmuller up front as usual. You've got Eddie Katora playing that attacking center mid. Other midfielders include Jake Sondag up from defense the last few games. Santapa, number 2, had the ball there momentarily. This is Sondag right there. Mike Johnson playing the 6, or a holding defensive midder. Tapa with it. Your back line, as usual, on the left side, number 6, senior Tarek Salim. In the middle, Alex Newton, number 5, also a senior. And right now, sophomore John Tesdall stays in the game. So Peyton Jensen getting a little bit longer of a break than usual. And then on the far side, newcomer to the varsity squad, Jacob Gibson, who started the game, played quite well in his first varsity match. Goes back in to start the second half here. Salim can't complete that pass. Newton has it go by him, but he tracks it down, getting held from behind. He plays it into touch. Nice safe play there by Alex Newton. DiManu will throw this one in. Flicked past Newton into the box. A little miscommunication there. Johnson played it, but Woodley was on his way out.
Yeah, Woodley's got to scream at Johnson there. We couldn't hear up here in the booth whether he did or not, but he's got to tell Johnson to bail out, because right now the Bears still have possession in the attacking half.
That was a nice step up by Salim. Comes back, good pressure. Sondag plays it with his left, looking for Hackenmuller. He can't quite get there. Nice step up by Cran, and we have an offside.
Whistle. White Bear Lake, offside.
I believe that's Caleb Anderson, one of the co-captains for the Bears of White Bear Lake.
Not too many offside calls on either side. That's only the second one, first one for the Bears. In the game, the Wildcats had one in the first half, so not a lot of back lines being tested, at least so far.
Prouty tries to flick that one past Bloomquist, but he can't. Gibson has it. He's going to be pressured from behind. Ends up going into touch right at midfield. So I'm hoping that Jensen's just getting a breather. Tesdall has played well when he's played, so there's no reason to not play him, and that there's nothing else going on. Wildcats down 3 guys already. Jace Willie, Miklo Jones, Asher Brunette, all out with injuries. Hopefully they will be back in a week. Of course, the high school season comes at you fast and furiously. This is game number 4 already for the Wildcats. And once they get past Labor Day, it goes up to about 3 games per week. Hackenmuller can't win that one, pulls the guy down from behind. They're going to play advantage. It's a through ball. It's a race between Salim, Anderson. Woodley coming out with a great save. Hopefully he's okay. I don't know if the contact with him was with the forward Caleb Anderson or if it was just the ball that hit him. He's down just for a moment. Now he's back up. He's fine. Fantastic play by Woodley. Through ball got past Salim, and no one was there.
Center referee checking with the assistant referee just to make sure there wasn't anything there, either a foul on, I think it was Watson. I can't remember if it was Watson or not, but Watson's going to take the corner. Making sure there's no foul.
Their third.
Corner goes in, and it's off the football goalpost. Speaking of football, we have our opening game tomorrow night.
Yeah, tune in for ETV. The game time is 7 o'clock. The Edina Hornets travel down 494 to take on the Eagan Wildcats, and we'll have all of the coverage here. Eagan Wildcats coming off one of their best seasons last year for football in quite some time, and so a lot of optimism here in Wildcats country, but at the same time, a tough schedule. And so we'll have to see what that looks like, when the Wildcats actually put cleats to the turf. But tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Edina Hornets, and tune in. It should be a great match, great game.
Yeah, looking forward to this season, as many people are. Like you said, the most successful season in a long time for the Wildcats on the football field. Here's Hackenmuller from Johnson. He's going to use that speed to get around the right if he can. Little delay move there. Crosses that one. It gets through. Here's Katora. Katora responsible for both Wildcat goals this season. Unable to finish that one as it goes up and through for a field goal, which is worth absolutely nothing on the soccer pitch.
As I said, the football Wildcats are a lot of enthusiasm. They have, as I mentioned, a tough schedule. They will play the Edina Hornets tomorrow night, and then next week they play the Rochester Mayo. What are the Mayo's Spartans? I'm blanking on their mascot, but they'll play Rochester Mayo, who are in their section this year. So Mayo is actually in the Wildcats section for playoffs, as the schedules have been rejiggered and fixed to encourage section opponents to play against each other.
Katora has this one on the far side. He's got Tapa behind. He's harassed, trying to get it back to Gibson. Defended into touch.
Danger here, I think, for the Wildcats, Skip, is that they want to hold for the perfect shot or the perfect opportunity. And while I don't mind the perfect opportunity, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
Precise. Oh, Johns with a nice head into the middle, looking for teammate. He's got a potential volley, but he's bodied off that one. Good defense. Salim has it in a foot race. This is Anderson. Newton there to help out. It gets by him. Tesdall plays that one down near the corner for a throw. Just a yard or two shy of the corner flag.
A good recovery that time by the Eagan back line. No question about that. Anderson had a good head of steam. And without team defense, Woodley would have been left on an island.
Left foot cross. It's going to go over everyone's head. Woodley will pick this one up easily. Gibson was there to make sure he did so without being harassed. I'd like to see the Wildcats start to generate more scoring chances. To your point earlier, you don't need the perfect scoring chance. You just got to start throwing balls at the net and make good things happen. They've had a few good ones, especially in the last half of the first half. I'd like to see that continue. Here's another one over. Newton pressuring from behind is able to get a foot on that and kick that over the goal line. This will be a corner kick. Nice recovery there by Newton using that speed.
Well, he had to get it right, Skip. He had to get it right, or he's potentially conceding a free kick in a very dangerous position, maybe even getting himself carded. So he had to get it right, and to concede the corner in that situation is not a bad option.
Corner's taken and headed right to Woodley. That might have been one of the cleanest, easiest corner to head plays I've seen. There was rather no defense in the vicinity, and he was nonchalantly like, okay, I'm just going to tap this one in the corner for a goal. Thank goodness Woodley's hands were quick.
Well, not only quick but solid, right? I mean, he didn't spill it, he didn't fumble it, he didn't any of that kind of thing. But it was a great header that time by the Bears as Johnson turns it over. Not sure who he was going for there.
He had Hackenmuller making a diagonal run behind the line there, and he just didn't put enough oomph on that. Newton steps up to play that one. Now he connects with Prouty. Nice tap into Hackenmuller. He's going to give it back to Katora. Oh, just a little strong. It was the right idea.
That is Hackenmuller, when his back is to the goal like that, he has made that play several times this season already. I'd love to see that move.
Tapa steps in front of that one like a free safety, reading the quarterback's eyes. Here's one across to Prouty with a head. Plays it back. Probably could not shoot from that distance. Sonde goes right back in, but there's Christensen again fumbling the ball. I think the Wildcats need to start really being conscious of that. It's happened a few times.
And Tapa was in the vicinity, but not necessarily, I guess, close enough.
Salim heads that one way up. Johnson moves it further downfield. The Bears controlling now as we're in the end of the 50th minute, still scoreless. Both teams starting to generate some opportunities here. Simonek, far side. I think that's maybe Glauvitz. Tough to read that number from this far. Could be a different number. Newton steps up, can't quite connect, but still deflects it enough to where no harm. Quick rethrow there by Anderson. Oh no, there's a foul in the box. Oh, unfortunately, or are they not calling it?
No, the center referee,
Goal kick for the Wildcats.
I think, let's see what they're going to call here.
He gave the flag a waggle. I thought he was calling a foul in the box on Newton.
He was, and the assistant referee was having none of it, so he called him off. That's very interesting. It's very interesting. I thought Newton was absolutely going to get called for a foul. And you could just see it. You could see it coming. But the center referee said, no, that's, from my perspective, I saw what happened, and no, that's not a foul.
So crisis averted there. There's some contact. The game getting more and more physical. That one's not played the way the Bears wanted to. Newton trying to get that one up to a midfielder, but he was pressure from behind, and now we have, is it an offside call?
Offside call, yep. What was interesting, that and again, we're up in the box, and so it's difficult to hear. But there wasn't a lot of there wasn't a shout for a penalty from the Bears, and there wasn't really much from their fans or their bench or anything like that. So maybe they thought, nah, it's not a foul either. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. I think it's because Newton got run over. Maybe that's what was happening. Maybe that's what happened. And the idea is that Newton's got a right to stand his ground. He doesn't have to get out of the way of the offensive player, and that's how the collision came about.
Oh, nice play by Hackenmuller. Here's a chance. He's got a right foot. Can he get one on? Goal comes out. He shoots. He scores! With the call of the game, if you listen to the first half, the first goal scorer not named Kotara, called by Nathan Cron, was going to be Davis Hackenmuller, Nostradamus-like, and the Wildcats have a 1-0 lead.
Well, it's always hard work, Skip Newton, rubbing your temples and coming up with names, picking a forward that plays forward and has scored in the past and is on his third year of playing on the varsity squad is not exactly going out on a limb. But Davis Hackenmuller did a nice job that time. The defense just got twisted a bit for the Bears, but credit to Hackenmuller. He took a touch to settle that ball down, and so many times we've seen players in that situation have a burst of adrenaline. The Bears try to counter and hit side netting for Anderson, but so many times we see somebody take a burst of adrenaline there, and that touch is too strong. Christensen comes off, takes the ball, and the moment's gone. That time he did a great job of settling the ball with his touch and then putting it where Christensen couldn't get it on the far side of the post, or far side, I should say, of the goal.
Yeah, Christensen came off his line, but he was really stuck in no man's land. He was not going to get there soon enough to cut off the angle significantly. Oh, this goal kick goes straight to Anderson. Newton paying attention. Woodley doesn't pick it up. An interesting choice. Katara there to get that deflection, so that was giving us both a little bit of a heart attack. Now all of a sudden we've got Sondag in the open field. Katara on the far side. Tora over to Gibson, up from back. loses possession there.
Needs to be better quality there.
Tesdall's kept on side because Salim was way back. Newton hustles back to push things away, and there's Tapa. Oh, flicks it up to himself. Well played. Now he plays it deep. I did not catch the pass on the Hackenmuller goal.
Maybe what we'll do is at the water break, maybe we can go down and talk to the producers and talk to the official scorers and see what we can do in terms of finding out that. But you're right, it was a good pass, intercepted by the defense. Hackenmuller played it through and then left no doubt. Although I'll tell you, the last minute and a half from the Wildcats has been, well, a bit disjointed.
Yes, that's a
polite way of saying it.
Very, very polite way. There's been a few times where I'm wondering if we feel like the game's already over. It's just a one-goal game. Here's another race. Anderson wins that one, but Woodley comes out. Unfortunately, he cannot make the play, but Newton's there to save it. Alex Newton gets back in time. That was a tap-in goal if he's not there. He pounds the ground in excitement. A goal-saving play by Alex Newton.
Well, Anderson has proven easily, at least in this game, has proven the most exciting and dangerous attacker forward for the Bears, and Newton absolutely robbed him there of a tap-in goal. And Anderson's got to be thinking, gee whiz, what do I have to do?
Another errant corner kick. I believe that's at least the second one we've seen. Yeah, Anderson's starting to put on pressure. He's won on the near side here a few times, something that the defense, I think, needs to adjust to. He's got some speed. They need to be aware of that. We'll see if the coaching staff or the Wildcats decides to make any sort of a change personnel-wise to counter that speed over the head of Sondag. Katora thought he had more space or thought Prouty was going to play it. Regardless, it goes to the Bears and into touch.
I have to say, I would really like the Wildcats to do one thing right now, and that is settle down. Keep their defense square. Make sure they're marking their men in the midfield. Just be. And actually, we have a foul, not a throw. Interesting.
Yeah, it looks like Katora got a little physical.
But just stay calm. Mark your people. Don't lose your head. Don't ball watch. Just play your game.
Nice ball just outside the 18. Top is there to get that momentarily out of harm's way.
And for the Bears, I wouldn't say it's not panic time. Certainly, it's not panic time. But hey, we've got to create something here. And we can't just we've kicked it to Anderson a couple of times. He's had some great opportunities, but we need to do something other than just kick it long. We're going to have to do something else creative in the attacking third.
Just some great pressure down here by Hackenmuller and Prouty, not just letting the Bears easily track that down and turn it upfield, but they force the turnover. Now there's possession in the attacking third. Sondag has it knocked away, but they're going to say it went off of Jake. Bears throw.
That was a bit optimistic from Jake Sondag. I was like, how is that in the world? Is that going to be an Eagan throw?
Ooh, gets through his legs. Newton's there, but Salim gets in the way. Newton just turns it back outside. He had options, could have gone back, but I think cognizant of Anderson's speed, and he was there almost anticipating that back pass, so he just turned and fired it out.
And Anderson's going to be withdrawn now, and looks like, is it Boxroot 18? Yeah, I think it's Boxroot 18 is going to take his spot, but imagine we'll see Anderson before the end of the game, given how his propensity to create opportunities. Looks like it looks as though the Bears have really kept the same formation that they had at the beginning of the match. And the substitution here is Galanchin is going to come on, I think, for Johnson.
And a substitution for the Wildcats back in the game.
So something to note, since late in the first half, Tesdall, number 24, John Tesdall, came in for Peyton Jensen, and Jensen has not returned. That's the most he has not played all season long, oftentimes playing the entire game. So that does have me a little concerned about why he's not in the game, especially with some of the defensive pressure that we're feeling. Prouty will throw this in. Galanchin.
Nice touch there.
They play a two-man game and then get it into Hackney. Oh, a nice pass to Kotora. Can he win this one? It's ricocheted off of White Bear Lake. This should be a corner kick. It is.
Yeah, poor assistant referee on the far side is staring right into the sun. Initially signaled for a goal kick, but that is going to be a corner.
For the Wildcats, this will be their first in the second half.
I think we should get somebody with the words back post tattooed on their forehead, because it always seems these balls go over the top.
Yeah, Hackenmuller's got such a strong leg. I would like to see somebody outside that back post just in case he gets a little too much of it. They're all lined up about even with the back post, except for the couple right in front. It's not too deep. Oh, it's off the head. Oh, another header. No shot. That was a golden opportunity for the Wildcats. They can't capitalize. Newton's got about 20 yards of space to bring this one down and look for a teammate. Unfortunately, that pass deflected right back at him. He's going to take another shot. Couldn't get that up to Tapa. The Bears counter.
Yeah, Blaze Smith with some nice pressure that time.
Kotora with another foul.
Whistle foul called on the Wildcats.
So we'll have a free kick here. 35 yards out, I think. Yes, they're going to bring it back to where the center ref, and there is our mandatory water break.
Well, that's curious. If I have to say, if I was a White Bear Lake fan or a player, I would say, hey, I don't want to break the momentum. I want to have this, and we'll have a stoppage. We'll have a water break at the next stoppage. But what are you going to do? I guess.
So we go into the mandatory water break. There is a stoppage of the clock, so it's not running time. We've got just over 20 minutes remaining in the 1-0 lead, courtesy of a right foot blast on a breakaway by Davis Hackenmuller.
Wildcat Soccer would like to thank their gold sponsors as well: Ansari's, Mediterranean Grill, Birchwood Dental, Canes, Coldwell Banker, Rami Cormont, Devani's Divine Salon, Dunn Brothers, Eagan Arms Public House, try the Reuben, Eagan Family Dental, Escape With Us Vacations. They've worked with our family before. They're great. Homestead Auto, Mark's Towing, Teresa's, Wildcats, Zerbel Orthodontics, and ZZQ Barbecue. Thank you to our gold sponsors for helping make Wildcat Soccer possible, fun, and exciting.
Fun and exciting is exactly what this second half has been after a well-played first half by both teams. Wildcats getting their third goal of the season. Again, Davis Hackenmuller firing that one in the 53rd minute. Did not get the assist on that. We'll see if we can't track that down. But what we have now is a free kick for the Bears, so an opportunity for them to try and get that game-tying goal. They're going to be outside the football hash, 35 yards away.
Placed at the 25-yard line.
And the assist was Sion Tapa.
All right. Sion Tapa with his first Wildcat point. This one's blasted.
Off the free kick, shot taken, number 10, Benjamin Watson.
30 yards over the goal. Definitely not where he wanted that one to go.
Absolutely not. Now, that being said, the Wildcats, given the pattern of these two teams, especially the Wildcats with regard to their offense and their scoring, I wouldn't – the Wildcats need to break the mold here, right, and get another one, right? But if you're the White Bear Lake Bears, you look at this and say, hey, wait a minute, these guys have played 3 games. They've scored 2 goals. There's no reason we can't get another goal here, right? They're not going to score. The Wildcats don't have a propensity to be a high-scoring offense. So there's a good chance we're going to get a point and maybe get something out of this game.
Tapa, the assist, passes that one up. Sondag stepping up. Nice speed to try and win that, but it gets it taken away. Simonek. That pass is deflected by Galenshin. Salim trying to get it up to Knoll. Prouty's taken down, no call.
That was a good tackle. That was a good tackle by Dimanu.
Galenshin kicks that one into touch. Deflects it, I should say.
Substitution for White Bear
DiMano
Lake.
will
Back into
throw
the
this
game
one in
is
at
Caleb
midfield after
Anderson,
the
number 6.
substitution. Didn't look like a whole lot of rest there for number 6, Caleb Anderson, the co-captain, coming back in, generating a lot of scoring opportunities this half for the Bears. Sondag has that one deflected. This one's played through, but not. Tesdall defending. Newton, Tesdall.
Yeah, you saw that sequence with the Bears there. They just didn't have a whole lot of creativity. They didn't try a little flick. They didn't try a little soft pass. It was just kind of the words I was thinking of were blunt force trauma, right? It was just, we're going to force the ball through, and there were just too many arms and legs. Well, arms is a bad way of putting it because it wasn't a handball, but too many legs, too many bodies. It's almost like they need to do something else that opens up the field for them.
So far, they haven't chosen to use the corners a lot. Nice little touch there by Galunchin to get that further away. Quick with his feet. Good touch. Typical is the case. There's Salim with a nice ball over the head. Here's Prouty. See if he can make something happen. He knocks the player down. No call. Prouty retains possession. Finds Hackenmuller. The tough pass to maintain. Just a half step behind him. Flicking that one forward to himself would have been just a great touch by Hackenmuller. Newton fields this punt. Up to Knoll. Oh, he tried to get it past the much bigger defender. He's getting manhandled. Still almost comes out with it.
Yes, I'm not sure when Knoll decided to visit Sequoia National Forest, but he certainly did just there because Vicker is enormous. I mean, he's got to be well over 6 feet tall, and Knoll is not. Let's just say it that way. And so that was going to be an interesting physics matchup.
Tapa loses his physics matchup. There's a through ball. Newton again racing Anderson. Oh, right-footed shot. It's for the corner and in. Newton could not get over there in time to cut off that shot, and the senior forward co-captain Caleb Anderson finishing beautifully with a perfect shot to the far corner. Absolutely no chance for senior goalkeeper Evan Woodley. And here in the 65th minute, we have a tie game.
We talked about it. I mentioned it not too long ago that the White Bear Lake Bears are thinking to themselves, hey, these guys are not going to run away from us. They don't have a propensity to score a lot of goals. So if we keep at it, there's no reason we can't snag one, get something out of this game. And to be honest with you, given the flow of play, the rhythm of play, and that kind of thing, the balance of play, if you want to call it that, it's been very even. Neither team has dominated this game.
The Bears goal scored.
Into the game for the Wildcats, number 20, Zayon Oliath, the sophomore, first game at varsity. Really started to put on some good pressure as he got more comfortable on the pitch.
So Bears equalize with a 65th minute goal from Anderson, and that came from Benjamin Watson. So we have a collision here at the midfield. They're bringing that ball. It's going to be a free kick for the Wildcats when they bring the ball way back to the original foul. But it sets it up. I will say this, Skip Newton, something's going to have to happen here. Something new is going to happen here. If we have a winner, either the Bears are going to score 2 goals and win the game, or the Wildcats are going to do something they haven't done, which is score 2 goals and win a game.
Oh, a creative little flick there, but Newton, it was in the air. Galunchin couldn't control that. Tesdall comes over to help out.
Hard to tell from up here, but I get the sense that the Eagan defense maybe isn't talking enough. Maybe enough. Because it seems like there could be a little more traffic being directed down there.
Someone's going to get a break soon for that defense. Tyler Walcott, senior defender, ready to come in the next opportunity. Looks like Mike Johnson also going to come back into midfield. Again, once there's a chance, and now we're going to have a grab and hold according to the physical description there by the AR. So a free kick here for the Bears, who are spending a lot of time in the Eagan defensive third.
Number 10, Benjamin Watson on the kick.
It'll be interesting to see after this free kick when Johnson comes in. The referee says to Blake Prouty, you need to back up, young man. But it'll be interesting to see when Mike Johnson comes back in whether we return to normal programming with respect to midfield play.
Does feel like we maybe miss his leadership out on the field. He's very calm, controls the ball well. Here's Knoll, possible counterattack. He goes by one defender. He's got Prouty and Oliath. Oliath gets it by the other defender. It's 2-on-1 with Oliath and Prouty. Gets it over to Prouty. The defense comes sliding in. Nice play. Prouty deflects that one. Christensen, big, huge goalkeeper, able to keep that one out of the goal. Prouty slow to get up, but he's okay.
What an amazing sequence. If Blake Prouty had somehow scored a goal on that, I think that might have been an ESPN top 10. That would have been incredible.
Now we have a takedown right at midfield, another foul on the Wildcats.
It was unfortunate that the Wildcats, and again, it's just sometimes timing is what it is, but as the reserves start to stack up over there, the subs start to stack up over there for the Wildcats on the far side, but you go up by a goal, and what do? You take out your center defensive mid, right? I mean, that's, and again, it's not to say that another player doesn't deserve a chance there, but you wonder about it. You wonder if maybe you leave Michael Johnson in, does that change the dynamic on the back line? I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, it's a good point, and also the absence of Peyton Jensen, I got to believe has got something wrong that's preventing him from playing. There's no reason why he would be out for this long, playing such a great center back all season long. Several Wildcats now into the game. Tapa leaving. Number 19, Jacob Gibson, also stepping off. Looks like Blake Prouty's going to get a quick breather, hopefully not too long, get him back in.
Yeah, Axelrod's going to take his spot, with Walcott taking the spot of Gibson on the far side, as you said.
Newton Tesdall still center back. There's Johnson back in the game, over for Sondag. Oliath flicks over to Sondag, tries to go deeper, and that one's easily played into touch. Tyler Walcott's also in at right defense for Gibson. Two-man game, frees it up for the Wildcats. Johnson in the middle. He's got Salim back to Johnson. He's pressured, trying to get it over to Sondag, but could not connect. Newton stepping up, can't get there. Woodley's going to come way out, thankfully.
Nice job by Woodley. He had to make that decision. Evan Woodley had to make that decision very early in that sequence, and I'm glad that he did because, let's face it, Anderson's not going to miss twice. I mean, I just don't think he's going to miss twice. You give him a one-on-one with the keeper again, or even an open shot at a goal, he's going to nail it.
All right, Alex Newton finally getting a break here, and here's Peyton Jensen, so that's good to see. Jensen back in, not really sure why he was out for so long. But glad he's not out due to injury. Jensen defending. Left-footed shot. Woodley
Shot for the Bears.
Plays that short hop like a major league shortstop. Throws it out to Sondag. He's got Oliath with him. He's going to go deep, looking for Axelrod. That one's headed to the far side. Oliath defending against Vicker. Left foot flick goes up and over. He's onside. This one's flicked even farther. Anderson coming strong on Talim. Talim's got to get rid of that ball. He's pushed from behind. Easy call from behind.
Yeah.
Whistle on the play. That's a foul on
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, Salim's going down. Anderson's not even gonna contest that. Absolutely. Good. It was a good call. I want to say thank you to our award-winning ETV crew, cast and crew here. Obviously, you hear Skip and I, but there are a lot of people here behind the scenes. Josh Sibley, our executive producer. Nick Mudd, our director. Tim Shinyan on camera, and Savina Cisneros also on camera. Thank you so much for making us look and sound great here on ETV.
Axelrod trying to get it over to Oliath. Knoll stepping in, makes the play. has got a guy to beat. He hits Axelrod a shot and just wide to finish that.
Oh, you have
You
to.
can't miss the goal there. He's all alone. You have to finish that opportunity. That is an example of why they are struggling to get a second goal in a game. You cannot miss that.
One thing I will say, having now watched Eric Knoll in a couple of games, he is a bit creative. He is creating something for his teammates, and did so there.
And I'm not even the least bit surprised. I've watched him not even play soccer as a kid, but remember his older sister played with my daughter, and he would be with a ball on the adjacent field that was empty, just doing things by himself, dribbling, practicing bicycle kicks, and this is at a very young age. So not surprised at all to see Eric Knoll stepping onto this varsity field and showing some of that ability. He's quite crafty with the foot skills and fun to watch.
Well, if he's going to be crafty and fun to watch, then it means that, the players off of him should be looking to make a move or doing something that gives him an option and the ability to set them up, make a run, make a flick on, whatever it is. But one positive that has come out of this match is Knoll has demonstrated some of that craftiness that I think, creativity, I would say, that the Wildcats haven't always had a lot of this season so far.
There's an offside, easy call.
Yeah, Anderson was in an offside position and came back to receive the ball in an onside position, and that's, he's pointing it at Jensen, but Jensen was up.
Yeah, he wasn't standing with her.
Yeah, he wasn't standing there when the ball was played. That's right. You feel for Anderson, though. He's made so many runs tonight. They're lung busters, and at some point he says, "Hey, man, I'm making big runs here. You got to give me some slack."
Katora also back in the game for the Wildcats. Big boot by Jensen. Headed up into the box. High up was Axelrod. Nice job shielding that ball and winning it. That was not easy. When it goes into the box, unfortunately, no boy in blue there. We've got Wildcats. Oliath. Surrounded. He's going to go back to Tesdall. Wildcats resetting. Tesdall had to get rid of that one a little bit quicker. Goes to Salim. Back to Johnson. He's got pressure from behind. Jensen. Midfield. Wildcats, nice pass.
Room for the Wildcats if they can take advantage.
Trying to feather that one through with Sondag, looking for Oliath on the far touch. Couldn't get that through past the mountain that is Vicar. Through ball there. Woodley easily picks that one up. We are in the 74th minute. Once again, the Wildcats find themselves tied at 1, just like yesterday afternoon. Johnson has it. Trying to find somebody. Salim steps up into open space. Katora. Can't get by 2 defenders. Nice little slide away. Johnson picks up the loose ball. Can't quite connect there with Katora. Walcott steps up and commits a foul.
Yeah, that was an easy one, certainly. But as you said earlier, Skip, I mean, the game has had some fouls, but it hasn't been a dirty or overly rough game.
Anderson spins left foot wide.
It's been actually it's been an enjoyable game to watch. There's just haven't been a lot of scoring opportunities.
Into the game, number 16, Tyler Gruey.
For the Bears, back into the game.
Ian Vicker
Tyler Gruey, number
heads to the
16,
bench.
going off. Ian Vicker, number
Woodley
17.
takes the goal kick deflected by Salim into the middle of the field. Johnson's going to try to win this one. Does not. Up and over. It's Anderson again. Woodley gets absolutely trucked. They're going to wave it off because of advantage. I don't know why the Bears are complaining. That was an obvious foul on Anderson. Bodies flying all over. There's offside. Anderson doesn't like the call, but
Well, he was off. He was clearly offside when that ball was played. The referee really, though, assistant referee needs to be careful there. I mean, he raised the flag at the right time, but if Anderson, and he thinks Anderson's going to get to that ball first, and he probably does, but at the same time, then it became a bit awkward as he yanks it down and says, okay, well, I guess an Eagan player is going to get it. So, because Anderson saw the flag go up and then stops running, right?
Wildcats is going to throw that one in quickly, not allowing the Wildcats to get their substitutions in. They've got 3 subs standing at midfield ready to come in. Another through ball. It's Anderson again. Feels like that's been their entire offense this second half. He plays that one back. Wildcats there.
Well, it really has become end-to-end, hasn't it, Skip? I wouldn't say ragged, but it's become street ball a bit out there, hasn't it?
Yeah, Katora trying to beat his defender. He's got Oliath. Feeds it, give and go. Katora passes it on the ground. Can't connect with Axelrod. Right idea. Couldn't quite connect. Sondag's got about 15 yards of space. He's got Wildcats behind him if he chooses support. Oh, he had space. Maybe not realize it. Nice play by Oliath to control again with that move to the inside. Johnson wide open. Johnson looking to maybe get a shot off. He does, left foot wide. Now we'll get those substitutions into the game. Blake Prouty coming back in. We're in the end of the 77th minute. Oliath and Axelrod exiting. Looks like Mike Johnson exiting as well. Tapa coming in. Seeing Tapa number 2. Davis Hackemuller also back in the game. So putting in some fresh legs for that final run. Anderson deflects this one forward. Salim racing forward. Anderson pressuring hard, gives the shoulder from behind. Salim's like, how is that not a foul?
And just get the throw.
Salim double role both as the captain and forward for the Bears, also looking like he wants to wear a neon green jersey and play the role of assistant referee.
Newton number 5 back in the game, going off. Salim.
Salim says, Coach Butterly says, not for you, young man. You're not going to play referee anymore. You're going to come and have a seat with me. But yeah, it's funny how players think they can be better referees than the referees. The referees have to sometimes just deal with that.
Newton coming in for Salim. Peyton going high. Heads, goes down. Newton comes across, wins that one aggressively, then kicks it up. Here's Hackemuller. He deflects it away, unfortunately, just too strong. Oh, but it is Wildcat ball. I thought he kicked that out. Nice. Wildcats trying to get something going. We're down to the last 90 seconds.
Yeah, I know the referee doesn't want to slow the game down, ruin the flow of the game and that kind of thing, but a match control foul here and there might help. I get a little worried about some of these big boys throwing their bodies around.
Long ball. Prouty, is offside. Also looked like it played his hand.
Yeah, absolutely. Looked like Prouty was offside from where we were, no question. That's a fair result, I think, Skip. It's a fair result to watch these two teams play to a 1-1 draw. Both teams have had some opportunities. Both teams have given away a few opportunities, but it's been a very even match between the two. Neither team has been dramatically better than the other. Neither team has dominated, 10 or 12 or 15 minutes of play. It's just been a very even game, both sides having their chances.
Final 40 seconds. Tapa plays that one deep. Galentian steps up. He also plays it deep. Galentian still there. Taps it past. He's going to try to cross this one. Can't, but still maintains possession. Prouty keeps it in. No, he does not, according to the AR. Tapa on it. That's unfortunate. 20 seconds. Tapa has it. Looking for Katora. Hackemuller would need to have a miracle here. Does he have it in his bag? Can he fire a shot? He goes by a defender, goes by another one, gets taken down. There's not going to be a call there. And that is the end of the match. Like you said, an evenly played match.
Yeah.
There was a lot of ebbs and flows to it. It felt like as one team would get some momentum, the other team would counter. And that's exactly what happened on the scoreboard. Another draw for the Wildcats, 1-1. That's their second in as many nights.
Well, Hackenmuller incensed. He can't understand, and Captain Jake Sondag talking to the referees as well, saying, "Hey, wait a minute, that sure looked like a foul to me." As Hackenmuller feels hard done by, but as you said, the score itself, a fair result for both of these teams. A fair result for both teams, despite the fact that the supporters on both sides would want something a little better. And I agree with you. Unless it was open and obvious, as a referee, I would have a hard time calling it there. There was a tangle of legs. Everybody fell down, but extremely challenging to call it then against White Bear with 2 or 3 seconds left on the clock.
An exciting end of the game run there by Hackenmuller. Just had one too many defenders to try to beat to get that shot off. Needed to fire that one step closer. As it is, they'll have to settle for another draw. White Bear Lake and the Eagan Wildcats finishing tonight's contest 1-1. Please go find your link, your link to the next game. The girls and the White Bear Lake girls will be facing off shortly after this one. Of course, it's a delayed start because this one was delayed. But we will be back for game number 2 of our doubleheader. For Nathan Cron, my name is Skip Newton. It's excited to be here. This is Wildcat Soccer on Eagan TV.